On April 12, 2021, a routine traffic stop in Carroll County, Georgia, turned into a nightmare for law enforcement officers. Two men, identified as cousins Aaron and Pier Shelton, led police on a high-speed chase that would forever change the lives of those involved. It all began when a state trooper attempted to pull over a Nissan Sentra for speeding on Interstate 20. Instead of complying, the driver hit the gas, initiating a pursuit that would span multiple jurisdictions and put countless lives at risk.
Eventually, though, the car pulls to the side of the road. But when the trooper gets out to approach the Nissan, it speeds off. Dash camera video shows the initial chase as Aaron Shelton attempts to outrun the trooper.
As the Nissan fled westbound on I-20, officers from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and Carrollton Police Department joined the chase. The suspects, armed with a deadly AK47 rifle, had no intention of surrendering peacefully. Dashcam footage from the pursuing officers' vehicles paints a chilling picture of the dangerous situation unfolding on the dark Georgia highway. The Nissan weaved through traffic at breakneck speeds, reaching up to 111 miles per hour as it attempted to evade capture. But the suspects weren't just trying to outrun the law, they were ready to fight. As the chase continued, the passenger, later identified as Pier Shelton, began firing the AK-47 from the moving vehicle at the officers behind them.
Next, Pier Shelton can be seen from the passenger side of the Nissan pulling out an AK-47. He points the gun back at the Georgia State Trooper and opens fire.
Bullets ripped through the night, striking police cruisers and putting the lives of the officers at risk. The officers, trained to handle high-pressure situations, found themselves in a battle zone on the open road. One officer reported shots fired near exit 24 as the suspects continued their relentless assault on law enforcement. The pursuing officers, determined to stop the threat and protect the public, pressed on despite the grave danger they faced. The Nissan exited I-20 and made its way onto Highway 61, speeding through the small towns that dot the Georgian countryside. As the chase wound through rural roads, the suspects continued to fire upon the officers, their bullets piercing the still night air.
Crime unfolds. Video shows officers on the scene take cover, ducking behind parked squad cars.
Dashcam video captures the urgency and chaos of the moment, with officers reporting the suspect's location and the ongoing gunfire. The tension was clear as the chase stretched on for miles, with no end in sight. As the Nissan approached Ithaca Elementary School, officers deployed stop sticks in an attempt to disable the vehicle. But the suspects were undeterred, continuing their flight and their assault on the pursuing officers. The chase finally came to a head near the intersection of Highway 61 and Original Roaster Road. The suspects, perhaps realizing the futility of their escape, made the decision to engage in a final, deadly confrontation with law enforcement. Pier Shelton exited the vehicle, AK-47 in hand, and began firing at the officers who had pursued them so relentlessly. The officers, their adrenaline pumping and their training kicking in, returned fire to neutralize the threat. In that moment, the quiet Georgia night erupted in a hail of gunfire as the suspects and officers engaged in a life-or-death battle. The sounds of the AK-47 and police-issued weapons filled the air, echoing through the rural landscape. After a tense standoff between troopers and the cousins, Pier Shelton had been taken down by an officer. The remaining cousin, Aaron, the driver of the Nissan, was taken into custody alive, but the damage had already been done. With 3 officers wounded, the chase had ended. But the nightmare was far from over for the law enforcement community of Carroll County. The events of that night would forever be etched in the memories of those who were there, a stark reminder of the dangers that officers face every day in the line of duty. The bravery and sacrifice displayed by the officers involved would become a testament to the dedication and courage of law enforcement professionals across the country. In the days and weeks that followed, the community of Carroll County would come together to support the wounded officers and their families. Fundraisers, prayer vigils, and messages of support would pour in from across the nation, a sign of the deep respect and admiration that so many have for the men and women who wear the badge.
Fox 5 was there last year as his community welcomed him home.
When we got to a red light, we had the door open. I remember just waving to everybody. It was so exciting. Little boys waving, and I saw men that I knew. They were yelling and screaming and waving to me, and it was so awesome.
The chase may have ended, but the long road to recovery was just beginning for the officers involved. They would face physical and emotional challenges in the weeks and months to come, but they would not face them alone. The love and support of their families, their colleagues, and their community would carry them through even the darkest of times. The Carroll County chase and shootout left 3 officers wounded in the line of duty. These brave men, who put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve their community, found themselves in a fight for survival on that fateful April night. Sergeant Rob Holloway, a veteran of the Carrollton Police Department, was the most severely wounded of the 3. As he pursued the fleeing suspects, a round from the AK-47 pierced his skull, leaving him with life-threatening injuries.
Sergeant Holloway was shot in the head and crashed his squad car as a result. Dash camera video from Holloway's squad car shows the same moments from a different angle. These same moments of Holloway's crash were also captured by another officer's dash camera.
Holloway, a respected leader and mentor within the department, was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. His fellow officers, shocked and devastated by the news, rallied around him and his family, offering prayers and support in their time of need. Officer Chase Gordy of the Villa Rica Police Department was also wounded in the shootout. Gordy, who had joined the pursuit to assist his fellow officers, took fire to his arm as the suspects unleashed a barrage of bullets. Despite his injuries, Gordy remained in the fight, determined to see the incident through to its conclusion. His bravery and dedication to duty in the face of danger are a testament to the character of the men and women who wear the badge. The 3rd officer wounded in the shooting was Jay Repetto of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Repetto, like his colleagues, found himself in the line of fire as the suspects attempted to evade capture. A round struck Repetto's vest, a stark reminder of the dangers that officers face every time they put on the uniform. The vest, designed to protect against such threats, likely saved his life that night.
Our mental status, or things in life that we might have missed out on.
These 3 officers, each with their own stories and families, were united in their commitment to serving and protecting their community. They faced an unimaginable threat with courage and resolve, putting their own lives on the line to stop a dangerous criminal. Their sacrifices that night will not be forgotten. They are a reminder of the bravery and selflessness that defines the law enforcement profession, and the heavy price that officers sometimes pay in the line of duty. As the community of Carroll County rallied around their wounded police, the officers began the long and difficult road to recovery. Their physical wounds would heal with time and care, but the emotional scars of that night would linger long after the last shot was fired. The officers' families, too, would bear the weight of that night's events. The spouses, children, and parents of the wounded officers would face their own challenges in the days and weeks to come, as they supported their loved ones through the healing process. The law enforcement community, both locally and across the nation, would also feel the impact of the shooting. The bond between officers is a strong one, forged through shared experiences and a common commitment to service. When one officer is wounded, all officers feel the pain. In the aftermath of the shooting, the officers involved would be hailed as heroes by their colleagues and their community. Their bravery and sacrifice would be celebrated in ceremonies and tributes, a recognition of the incredible courage they displayed in the face of unimaginable danger. But for the officers themselves, the true reward would be the knowledge that they had done their duty and protected the innocent. They had faced the dangers head-on and emerged successful, even if the price some had paid was high. As they recovered from their physical and emotional wounds, the officers involved in the Carroll County shooting would draw strength from the love and support of their families, their colleagues, and their community. They would lean on one another for comfort and understanding, knowing that they were not alone in their struggle. And though the road ahead would be long and difficult, the officers would face it with the same courage and determination that had carried them through that fateful night. They would emerge stronger, more resilient, and more committed than ever to the noble calling of law enforcement. Sergeant Rob Holloway, a veteran of the Carrollton Police Department, was the most critically injured of the 3 officers wounded in the Carroll County shootout. The bullet that pierced his skull left him fighting for his life, with an uncertain future ahead. Holloway, 45, was a respected leader within the department. Known for his dedication to his community and his fellow officers, he had served in various roles throughout his career, including as a patrol officer, detective, and supervisor. On the night of April 12, 2021, Holloway found himself in the midst of a nightmare scenario. As he pursued the fleeing suspects, a stray shot from their AK47 rifle struck him in the head, leaving him with severe injuries. The news of Holloway's wounding sent shockwaves through the law enforcement community and the wider Carroll County area. He was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, where he underwent emergency surgery to save his life. As word of Holloway's condition spread, an outpouring of support and prayers flooded in from across the country. Fellow officers, community members, and even strangers took to social media to express their well wishes and offer assistance to his family. Holloway's wife, Stephanie, kept a constant vigil at his bedside, praying for his recovery and drawing strength from the love and support of their community. She described her husband as a fighter, a man of faith and courage who would not give up easily. In the days and weeks that followed, Holloway remained in critical condition, with doctors working tirelessly to stabilize him and assess the extent of his injuries. The road ahead would be long and challenging, with no guarantees of a full recovery. But Holloway, true to his reputation as a fighter, defied the odds. Slowly but surely, he began to show signs of improvement, with small victories celebrated by his family and colleagues. In July 2021, nearly 3 months after the shooting, Holloway was discharged from the Shepherd Center, a renowned rehabilitation facility in Atlanta. Though he still faced a long journey of healing and therapy, he had overcome the most critical phase of his recovery. Holloway's story became a symbol of resilience and hope in the face of unimaginable adversity. His unwavering spirit and the love and support of his family and community carried him through the darkest of times. As he continues his recovery, Holloway remains an inspiration to those who know him and to the wider law enforcement community. The impact of Holloway's wounding extends far beyond his physical injuries. The emotional toll of such a traumatic event cannot be overstated, both for Holloway himself and for his loved ones. Holloway's colleagues in law enforcement and his local community will also play a crucial role in his recovery. The welcome home party showed just how much recognition he and his fellow officers received for the bravery shown that night.
After 3 long months, Sergeant Holloway was finally able to return home Wednesday, welcomed by a cheering crowd of hundreds of Carrollton residents lining the downtown streets.
As Holloway continues on his journey of healing, he will serve as a reminder of the incredible sacrifices that law enforcement officers make every day. His story will inspire others to serve with courage and dedication, even in the face of unimaginable danger.
There's always going to be pain.
of whether somebody lost their life or mental status, or things in life that we might have missed out on.
As the Carroll County chase reached its climax near the intersection of Highway 61 and original Roaster Road, the suspects made a decision that would seal their fates and leave 3 officers wounded. Dashcam footage from the scene captures the chaotic and terrifying moments that followed. The sound of rapid gunfire fills the air as Shelton unleashes a hail of bullets toward the officers, their vehicles providing little protection against the high-powered rifle. Officers can be heard yelling commands and updating dispatchers on the situation, their voices strained with the tension and adrenaline of the moment. The gravity of the situation is palpable, with the knowledge that lives hang in the balance. As Shelton continues his assault, officers from multiple jurisdictions return fire, their weapons drawn in a desperate attempt to neutralize the threat. The exchange of gunfire is fierce and unrelenting, with bullets flying in all directions. In the end, it is the officers' training, courage, and teamwork that prevail. Pier Shelton, the gunman who had unleashed such terror on the officers, is fatally shot.
Holloway will face Aaron Shelton in court this Thursday for his sentencing. Here's what he'll say.
Aaron Shelton, the driver of the Nissan, is taken into custody alive. He is arrested and charged with multiple counts, including aggravated assault on an officer, murder, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. The scene in the aftermath of the shootout is one of controlled chaos. Officers work to secure the area, treating the wounded and processing the crime scene. The gravity of what has transpired weighs heavily on all those present, with the knowledge that lives have been forever altered. In the days and weeks that follow, the investigation into the shooting reveals troubling details about the Shelton cousins and their criminal histories. It becomes clear that the officers who faced them that night were up against hardened and dangerous criminals. In July 2023, just over 2 years after the shooting, Aaron Shelton was convicted of 22 charges, including murder, and sentenced to life in prison without any opportunity for bail, a fitting punishment for the terror he inflicted on the officers and the community. The shootout and its aftermath serve as a stark reminder of the dangers that law enforcement officers face every day in the line of duty. The bravery and sacrifice displayed by the officers involved are a testament to the dedication and courage of those who serve and protect. In the end, the Carroll County shootout stands as a tragic example of the human capacity for violence and destruction, but it also serves as a powerful reminder of the courage and selflessness of those who put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. The Carroll County chase and shootout stands as a stark reminder of the dangers that law enforcement officers face every day in the line of duty. The bravery and sacrifice displayed by Sergeant Rob Holloway and his fellow officers on that fateful night are a testament to the dedication and courage of those who serve and protect. The severity of the incident, with 3 officers wounded and 1 suspect killed, underscores the high stakes of police work and the split-second decisions that officers must make in the face of danger. It is a sobering reminder of the price that is sometimes paid to keep our communities safe. As we reflect on the events of April 12, 2021, let us remember the officers who put their lives on the line and the families who support them. As we move forward, let us never forget the sacrifices made by Sergeant Rob Holloway and his fellow officers on that dark Georgia night. Let their bravery and their dedication to duty serve as an inspiration to us all, a reminder of the best that humanity has to offer in the face of unimaginable adversity.